Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Scarlet N Great. Thank you so much for joining us here. If you are a huge Ohio State football fan, you are in the right place for the most entertaining duo on Ohio State YouTube channels anywhere. Johnny Bullitt, myself, you'll see Shane Larson, Florida Corey. As always, we bring Zach Smith on for analysis. So please, if you are a huge Buckeye fan, we ask you before we get to this Tulsa game, and we're going to unpack a lot here, and there's a lot that needs to be said to Buckeye Nation about what this team needs to do moving forward. But please help us grow this channel. I promise you will like it. Well, I promise you should like it. Whether you will or not, well, that'll be up to you. But please, please, please subscribe to this channel. You helped us crush the goal of getting 2,500 subscribers by the Penn State game. Please help us get 3,000 subscribers by Penn State. That's the new goal. So if you're a huge Buckeye nut, you want to be entertained, you want to learn something, you want to have some fun, you want to laugh along the way, subscribe to this channel. 3,000 by the Penn State game. Then we'll just go onward and upward from here. The dynamic duo is back in this game, unpacking again the Tulsa game and what we can take away. It's been a minute, but my good friend, Florida, Corey, you are back. We are back. Batman and Robin, Robin and Batman. It's good to see you, my friend. How have you been?
Good to see you as always, my friend. Real quick, just want to give everybody a shout out. I know I came on with Shane, but I didn't get a chance to do this, but I want to do this now. Guys, I just want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to all of Buckeye Nation. Everybody watches this show. Everybody's a fan, a friend, or family, or however. You guys have been so overwhelmingly supportive of me in my time of, I guess you can say, need with my father passing, and it was a huge impact on my life. And I also want to say thanks to my co-host here, not only just co-host, my brother, love him to death, Johnny. He's been an emotional support this entire time whenever I needed it. And God bless you, Johnny. You know I love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Thank you so much. Oh, you picked up a nice urn too.
Yeah. Dad is in an Ohio State urn. I had to. It's funny though. It's really just a silver urn with a Buckeye sticker planted on it. That's really all it is. But it's fitting for him. We're gonna have a memorial service, and I'm gonna wear the AJ Hawk jersey that he wore to his best friend's wedding. So, because it's just who he was. So, gotta honor him. Huge Buckeye guy. I can hear him screaming about that defense and CJ Stroud for all the way from heaven. So,
oh man. Well, it is good to be back with you, and I'm glad you're doing well. And Buckeye Nation obviously sent their love and support, and we're glad that you're back. And to jump straight into what is all obviously an emotional season so far for the Buckeyes. It doesn't matter as much as what you went through, but it sure feels like it sometimes in the moment. We get lost in this. Buckeye Nation loves this so much.
Lose my father, and they just can't make the season fun. It's just thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Just needed this one thing. If any season needed to be a good season.
I needed a repeat of 2019. He couldn't do it for me.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I just want to say Corey and I want to make this disclaimer. We're going to be pretty critical, likely, and harsh in this show. It's going to sound like at times. I mean, no disrespect to these great athletes and their friends and their family, coaches, anything. These kids, we realize we're grown men criticizing kids who are better athletes on their worst day than we will ever be on our best day. We realize that, but you are here for entertainment, for information. And to do that, we have to be brutally honest sometimes. You want us to be honest. I think that's why you're here. You don't want us to just sit here and say, well, he struggled, but hope he does better. He's a Buckeye, and we love him. We'll hope he does better. You're not here for that, all right? So we don't mean anything by it.
You might want to turn the channel right now.
You might want to turn the channel. We do love and support these kids, but this is this isn't the mutual adoration society, as some might call it.
Blue ribbon society. So.
Yeah. It's not participation trophy time. This is here to be the elite of the elite, and that's what the kids want to be anyway. So I'm sure they're getting coached hard too, the coaches too. So a little bit of improvement. I did tweet out. Nobody's allowed to say that this team did anything to improve against Tulsa and Akron because it's Tulsa and Akron. Of course, it's going to look better.
He almost blocked me. He almost blocked me, folks.
I did. I mean, I still might. However, I will say there's a few things that did look the defense showed, I'm not going to say players are getting better. I'm going to say from the play calling standpoint and defensive scheme, whatever structural changes Ryan Day made, we think we know what most of them are, but there was a enhancement in play calling. Like there was more blitzes. There was a mix of zone and man. Not the mix that you'd like. They still struggled on blending and mixing and different things, but you brought more pressure. Even defensive linemen dropping exotic cover. Whoa, what are we doing? Rex Ryan calling defense here. We even dropped the linemen into coverage, but there's still some timing to work on, adjusting mid-drive, adjusting what teams might do. Not getting out-schemed by Tulsa at times would be nice, but there was a little bit of room where you said, okay, I said, this is the way I wrote it down. The defense went from looking lost to just looking like it's struggling.
Basically went from, drowning to hanging on the edge there. Look, I agree, Johnny. I loved the new style of play calling, not because it was perfect, not because it didn't falter at times, not because it played to the strengths perfectly, but mainly because I just wanted to see some aggressiveness. And I felt like we saw that. And now, did we get pressure perfectly all the time? No, but the fact that they're trying to get pressure is like a step. I mean, that's how low the bar was, is last week against Oregon, just rush 4. And, if you get pressure, great, or play containment on the edge, whatever the rumor was. Matt Barnes is a new signal caller, is saying, no, we're coming after this guy. We may not always get there, but I think in time, the delayed blitzes, the stunts, the timing of the guys and the chemistry of the guys will get better the more they do it. And these are the perfect games to work on it, right, is Tulsa and Akron. And again, I agree with you, John. It's just Tulsa. Who the heck knows if there's actual improvement or not? But it was just the play calling alone was just good to see that they're trying to get more aggressive. Because I'll tell you, it doesn't matter if you have the perfect defense or not. If my defense is lackadaisical and just lays back and this basically tries not to let the offense burn them deep or whatever, I can't do it. You got to go after that quarterback. You got to go after that ball carrier. You need to start dictating to the offense what they can and can't do. And we were not doing that with Kerry Coombs. I think Matt Barnes at least showing that, you know what, I'm not perfect. I'm going to learn as I go. I'm not, the most experienced play caller in the world either, but we're going to try to get after it.
Yeah, and you needed to be able to do that against these players. And I think that might have been the mindset. That was the old Don Brown mindset, but it was still worked against lesser teams.
I prefer John Brown right now over what we've had.
I would. He said, look, my guys are better than you. I've even heard him say something similar to, my guys are better than yours, so I'm coming after you until you show me you can stop it. Mm-hmm. Problem was when you could stop it, then he didn't know what
Ohio
to do.
State knew to stop it, but I mean,
right? Yeah. But I like you when people keep saying we got Don Brown, got Don Brown. I'm like, no, Don Brown's better than what we've had, guys. It's what we've had been completely lost. But you see some improvements there, Corey. This is something beyond defensive improvements. I do want to say, I think there's 3 things I want to get to when it comes to personnel. We could make a 2-hour show about personnel and the different safeties we're using and the different people that should play safety and all that. But this is what I want to talk about. There's 3 guys on this team, personnel wise, that absolutely cannot play starter reps for this team. That's a little hot takey, so be it. I'll take the clicks. But I really do believe there's 3 guys on this team right now.
He's poking the table, folks.
They cannot start for this team. They cannot play starter reps for this team. If this team hopes to salvage the season and even be a playoff contender, let alone in the playoffs win a game, playoff contender, 3 guys you just can't have. Number 1, Bryson Shaw.
Oh, that's painful too because we liked him when he got recruited.
We did, yes. Sadly, he may have to be because Proctor's out, and that's a death sentence because he's the 1 high guy, and Proctor was the best guy for the job. Okay, now you're already in the 2 deep with Shaw starting and getting a ton of snaps. Okay, maybe we just don't have somebody else you can put back there. You can experiment
I'm willing to put Marcus Hooker back there and try.
I forgot all about him. Hooker, Williamson. Can you experiment with a Ryan Watts or even a Hickman and Ransom, who are respective box safeties and cover safeties who have struggled with those responsibilities? Would they be better at the one high? I forgot all about Marcus Hooker. Was not very good at maybe they just know, look, it's going to be more of the same. But it can't be Bryson Shaw. If it is out of necessity, then I don't think there's any way we can do playoff contention with this team.
I'm willing to try Seven Banks back there and just.
I give it a shot. Something.
Yeah, something. Yeah. I mean,
and maybe that's what they're working on. I don't know.
You're right though, Johnny. Shaw has not been good. His angles make Tyvis Powell blush. I mean, it's like it's bad. I mean, some of the angles you look against Oregon, it's like what in the world made you think that was the angle to take?
And he has freakish speed.
Yeah.
When you miss that bad with freakish speed, you know there's technique problems.
Exactly. And just his reads are not great. He bites too often. I don't want to hate on the kid. I think he's a great kid. I'm glad he's a Buckeye, but he just can't be a starter for us. You're right, Johnny. I agree.
Yeah, so hopefully we figure out an answer there soon. People say, well, the other guys don't know the playbook. I say, I don't think he does either.
It's like if you know the playbook and you're still that bad, then go with the guy that doesn't know the playbook because he can get better.
Right.
You know?
Right. Next up, here's another guy who may be a very good Buckeye in time. I have no idea why he's out there this early. Tommy Eichenberg. Tommy Eichenberg, absolutely. I was thrilled when he was recruited. I love the kids from the forgotten areas of Ohio, especially Southern Ohio. It's near and dear to my heart.
And his brother's a starter in the NFL right now. So
redshirt freshman. I don't know why we had to throw him out there right away. I realize in this defense, you want like two Mikes, a Mike and a Will that are right there. I also have problems with this box safety bullet thing because I don't think it's working out. I'd rather just go back to a Sam linebacker, but that's a different conversation. I realize you need these two inside guys. With Taraja out and Dallas Gant really struggling, maybe you are stuck with Cody Simon and Ike. But moving forward, you can't have him. You can't have – he can't
I don't think you are, though. I mean, you could – why can't you play Pope? Why can't you play EA? Why can't you play –
EA would be the answer. EA would be the answer. And I think people would say, well, he didn't know the plays yet. And I would say Eichenberg clearly doesn't either.
Eichenberg has this one highlight play where he stuck a guy who dropped the pass. And okay, that was nice. I agree with you. He could be good in time, Johnny, but right now he's just not your best option. He can't possibly be your best option. We've been rotating 100 linebackers, and this is what we came to. Now, Cody Simon makes sense. I think he's been playing well enough to be a starter.
Simon absolutely has to be one of the inside guys.
But Ike is like Tough Borland 2.0 right now, and I think we've all had enough of it. It's almost like if like JT had gone in 2017 and then like another type of quarterback like JT was right after him. It's just like, okay, we can't escape this, can we?
You're right.
So, I mean, we didn't go from JT to Dwayne Haskins when it comes to linebackers and Tough Borland Ike. So,
yeah, we shouldn't. He just can't, right? You can't, this can't be your starting middle linebacker. It can't. Tough Borland knew his responsibilities better than it seems Ike does. Ike might be a little more athletic, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't seem to know where to be. He faked out way too easy.
Ike would have been great in the Tressel era. I think he actually would have been a really good player in the Tressel era.
Yeah, and he might be a decent player in this era, just not yet. He just plays too confused. It absolutely non-negotiable, just like Bryce Shaw. He cannot be on this defense as a starter for this defense to be salvaged. I'm not even talking about being elite. I'm just talking about being salvaged. He's a year away.
He was another guy, like they blew all, the beat writers blew all in friggin' camp and stuff saying how great he was, and then he comes in the game, he's confused and he's lost, and he's, it's just like, okay.
Demario McCall for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
except he's not even getting on the field.
I thought he'd actually play a little bit of corner, and they're not even putting him on the field right now, but it doesn't matter. That's another story for another time.
Yeah. All right. Third and finally. And I know this is going to hurt some feelings. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, right, absolutely.
Forget
it. Comment yes or no. Do you want a new quarterback? In my mind, he absolutely cannot be the starter for this team. Not this year. I've seen enough.
Well, if it ain't this year, it ain't ever happening. So.
Well, okay, but you may be right about that. But I will give him the same courtesy I gave the other two players. Can't be this year. I realize we get more emotional when you say bench. If you say bench a safety, people's like, yeah, bench safety, bench him. He's not good. If you say bench a running back, they're like, yeah, put him on bench. Not good. You say bench a quarterback, you're like, whoa, that's our guy. Can't bench my guy.
Right now, you might have a lot more people on your side than you think, Johnny.
Right. Well, it took this last week. I didn't. Last week I didn't.
No, I wasn't even on your side last week.
Nobody was on my side when I said Kerry Coombs wasn't the guy last year in the middle of the season, and nobody was.
Nah, there was some people that agreed.
There was a few. You're right. There was a few. And last week I was like in the minority 20% that said I want to move on from CJ. And granted, I saw the good things he did last week. And I know the base is there. The guy can throw some absolute darts. He can. It's undisputed. He has a base level of talent that can. And I was a really believer that he was going to do great things. However, and everybody, I want to say, give a shout out to Mr. Ohio on Twitter. You all owe him an apology. The guys that roasted him in the comments.
I will never apologize to that guy, ever.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But you all owe him an apology. Go to Mr. Ohio on Twitter. Guys like him and me, we are the revolutionary people. We are the guys that can see it before you do. It's okay if you can't see it as quickly as we did. Listen.
I'm going to go ahead and add something here.
Yes.
I have a personality that I don't like to be reactionary. So I like to wait it out because I think a lot of fans, like if CJ throws one incompletion, just get rid of him. I'm done with him. And I thought he played good enough against Oregon to be like, okay, let's see where this goes. But then he actually regressed by like 4 steps against Tulsa. And I don't know if it's just a shoulder injury or what, but he made Bowserman blush on a few of those throws. And
I threw up once. Everybody in my house, that deep post to Olave.
Oh, jeez.
True story. Everybody in my house threw up. I had such a mess in my living room to clean up.
I mean, even Cruiser. And I'll tell you that I mean, when I saw that pass fly over his head and behind him, I thought that was 6. I mean, any quarterback should have made that throw. Anyway, yeah, I've been a Stroud defender like I was a Coombs defender. But I can't sit there and say Stroud's during a COVID year or nothing like that. This is just where he is right now. And I was all in favor of like, okay, if he tears it up against Tulsa, I'm not going to claim that all his problems are fixed, but at least he's progressing. And then he comes out and he struggles. He can't throw for 200 yards against Tulsa. And Tulsa lost to UC Davis, 19-17. I'm just at the point where I'm like, I don't want to just give up on Stroud. I know he has talent, but man, I am ready to. Now I'm finally ready. Let's just see what McCord or Miller can do. Some people be screaming Ewers. Fine, whatever. Put somebody else in there.
Coaching staff, you pick.
Yeah,
just tell me who's best.
Jack or LaCroix? Can we just see? But I mean, I'm ready just to just to see, get a peek. Like, are they just not even as good as Stroud when he's not 100%? Is that the case here? And if that's the case, how are we missing this bad on QB recruits?
Right, because the narrative was what I thought was you got a room of assassins.
Yeah,
and CJ Stroud was the top assassin.
But apparently, we got a room of Chris Farley's and Beverly Hills Ninja, and
that's what I can't believe that for a second. No, I can't believe that for a second.
I think McCord's the real deal. I think Ewers is the real deal. I think Miller's got a lot of talent. So.
Yeah. So I just don't see how that's the case. So I will say this, Corey. This is why I did in the Oregon game. In the Oregon game, there was absolutely some good throws, but I saw too many bad moments of, that was too easy to miss. That was really bad. This is a big moment. Then I couple that with a really bad half against Minnesota to open. And then you put that together with it. And I was already saying there's some kind of X factor that this kid's missing. And I get it, the bright lights and all that and newness and being young. But I was just like, I'm over it. Like there was just something there that didn't scream special. It didn't seem that
takes him a quarter and a half to get going,
Yeah. Well, cool. Case in point, Corey, this is absolutely why we got to move on going forward. First halves of this year, Ohio State has scored 10, 7, and 13. The 13 was against Tulsa. Overall, the offenses scored 38, 28, and 34. Again, 10, 7, and 13 in the first half with probably the best wide receiver stable in school history, at least the best duo probably.
And one of the super stud freak running back that we have.
One of the best O-lines in school history, and one of the best running back stables in history. For my goodness, Master Teague's your third guy. The running back stable is deep and talented.
And Teague doesn't look bad.
Yeah. He's clearly the third best.
Yep.
So and clearly the best offensive mind and play caller in school history. So when you have one of the best O-lines, one of the best running back rooms, the best play caller, and the best wide receiver room you've ever had, and you're scoring 10, 7, and 13 in the first half, what's the common missing denominator? And there you have it. We can't be like 2015 and just burn first quarters and burn first halves because our quarterback doesn't want the moment or the moment's too bright. Look, you know what? The shoulders hurt. Don't care. Get the guy out there who's not hurt. It's a big moment, big game. Don't care.
Oh, that's especially don't care about that. Yeah.
This is, I'm young. Don't care.
He's throwing those at his wife, by the way, guys.
Don't care. Look, it's not that those aren't real things. It's that this is elite level, top tier talent. And none of those defensives coming after you care about any of those things. In fact, they're glad about them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I just think it's time to move forward, just like the other two positions I named. Last word, Corey.
I don't disagree at this point. Here's the funny thing. I defended Coombs for an entire year. Stroud ticked me off so much. I went 3 games and said, okay, I need to see somebody else. I mean, that's
It was the RPO quick out to Olave, wasn't it? That when he missed, you were like,
oh, jeez.
You were like, what?
And why is it on every freaking game, the first series has a third down where he throws it high? What is going on there? I don't want to hear shoulder at that point. That's just getting nervous.
It is, and that's what you can't have. You can't continue to have the butterflies.
I remember when Brett Favre used to do that with Green Bay, like in the first quarter, his first series, he's just throwing high. He was out of control, and Mike Holmgren would get a hold of him and say, stop it. But then he'd throw for 400 yards and 6 touchdowns and it'd make up for it. So right. CJ had one decent drive against Tulsa. One decent drive where I think he was like 4 or 5, and he still didn't get the TD pass. It was Trevion Henderson who ran it in from short. And I thought and I actually tweeted that. I was like, well, that was a better drive, but as Johnny always says, you can't have a quarter and a half for this guy to finally put it together. Penn State, Michigan, the way they're playing right now, do you want to waste a quarter and a half against those teams, or do you want a guy who's going to come out firing? I wonder about CJ's mentality. I really do. The alpha mentality. I wonder if he has that killer instinct. I really do wonder these things about him right now. He's got talent. He's obviously injured right now, but does he have that? I'm going to win this battle no matter what I have to do to win it. I just don't see that in him right now. I see a scared kid right now.
Yep. That is, I think, the way most people feel. So, guys, comment yes or no for a new QB. Let us know if there's any other changes you'd like to see on this defense or this team at all, especially the defense. Go ahead. You guys have free reign. We appreciate your time and attention. My wife, I have to go because my wife has a big mess to clean up here now. So, as always, we wish you goodbye, God bless, and go Bucks.